think come on. Hopefully that fixed the sound. We're going to see. I'm going to give it a few minutes and see if anybody comes on. If not, we'll just stick with the reschedule. Let me get this and share it. Hey, Judy. Hopefully you guys can hear me and it doesn't sound like a helicopter now. Judy, if you could let me know if you could hear me, that would be great. We had technical difficulties. Between my Streamlabs and my YouTube, and it wasn't connecting everything. But I had an update just before, so I closed it down and opened it back up. You can hear me at all. Yep, it's working. Yay! That's because it sounds like it's being repeated. How about now, Louise? Is that better? Hey, Sue. Okay, great. I had my sound on, so yeah, I had my sound on there for a second. I was checking things, so that's probably why, Louise. All right, so let's play the intro and go over everything, and we'll get started, guys. I do apologize for that technical difficulty. And this is our June calendar, and I am, because of summer and everybody's busy, I am going to be doing recorded tutorials on Monday and Wednesday files for Patreons and Ko-fi and YouTube supporters. Thanks, Louise. And on Fridays, I'm also going to do recorded tutorials, but that is not to say that I won't pop on at some time and do a live special rather than a recorded. It's just going to depend on how busy we are and what's going on, and if there's the time of day, so that everybody can get the most bang out of their YouTube tutorials. But there will be a free file every Friday for everybody. Okay, and Thursdays remain the same. They're not going to change. Zooms are for the Zoomer tiers. That tier is closed to any new persons, and it will be closing also in September. So once that does, we're going to figure out some new things to do, and got some new things coming your way, buddy. So we're working on a lot here in the background. That being said, so pay attention to your giveaways. There is a new giveaway started yesterday. So you guys make sure you're getting your beach themed projects posted with your hashtag. Make sure you're entering on Rafflecopter. If you need any help or you get stuck trying to enter, please let us know and we will walk you through that. You can find all of this under the group photo in both groups, Cricut Crafting with April and Cricut Maker Projects. Yay! So we are in Designspace, and I had done a poll, and a lot of people wanted to know about doing party decor. So we have a brand new, fresh homepage for everybody. So make sure that you're poking around in there and you're checking that out and paying attention to what's going on with your homepage. I'm just going to shrink that down just a little bit so I can see it a little bit better here. Here on the main bar, you'll see this is where you're going to do your searches. You've got your machine family. You've got your new project here at the top. And here on this ribbon, if you go through there, it's got some things that are recommended for you. And yours may look a little bit different from mine. You know, different things for different people are going to be appearing on what's recommended for you. If you happen to see the birthday inspiration like I do, then you can click on that. And that's going to bring you into your party essentials. And that's basically what a lot of our tutorials for the month of June are going to be about, because a lot of people have lots of parties in the summertime, and it doesn't just have to be birthdays. It can be your beach parties and summer parties and barbecues and all sorts of things, family reunions. So a lot of table decor goes on during the summer months. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were utilizing all that Designspace has to offer you with this. We're also going to be talking about, rather than putting this project together tonight, because banners are super, super easy, and we are going to talk about how you can manipulate these banners and make them your own. Baby showers, exactly. So there are just so many summer projects, and the winter too, but we do a ton for summertime. Yay! Welcome back, Marianne. I'm glad we got everything working. I don't know what the static was. I guess my update broke my microphone, so I went. So if my sound sounds a little bit funny to you guys today, it's because it's on my Mac and not my microphone. Something happened in that update, so I just removed it and went with another mic. So here you'll see in your party essentials, you have banners, you have cake toppers, and you have gift tags. And we're going to be covering all of these, and place cards, all sorts of things this month in June, teaching you how to use these and how to manipulate them to make them your own for whatever occasion that you have. Because just because it says happy birthday doesn't mean you can't make it say celebrate if you like the style. It just depends on what you want. Banners can be done in so many different ways, as far as stringing them or how you put them together for your party. Cover all of that. And when you think of banners, most people think of banners like this, okay, where it's either a square or these shapes or your banner shapes, even the shape here with the pennant shape. But you can use images just as well for your banners, okay? Images can be used very easily. It consists of slicing a hole. You can see that these have a hole sliced in them. So any image that you find in Designspace that you like, you can use that if you just want to string it with a couple of holes. Those seem to be the easiest, simplest. But I'm going to show you on a couple of these where it's not so easy. Like this one doesn't have any holes. So how would you do that banner? There are a lot of different ones in there, and there's different ways that you can do it. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here, search bar from the home page, and I'm going to type in banner. And we're going to bring up some projects. And I have some that I stuck in here for you guys to use. And let's see. Let me copy that link. It is in the, I'm gonna put it in Designspace. It's in the description down below. Now, this one's not going to have anything done to it. You can just open it up and you can use that. This is a banner that was already in Designspace, but I'm going to show you a couple of others as well. So let me go over here. If I can get back to the home page, let's do that. I'm stuck. All right, there we go. So if I come in here and I'm just on the home page and I type in banner, you can see that a lot of stuff comes up here and down through here. And you can see that somebody even, if I can get to view all, there's a little cutie banner right here. They used a Cricut cutie to make a banner. Lots of different things. So there's tons of stuff in the community too. And you can see where they use letters and shapes here. Lots of stuff. So let's go in, and I gave you the link. I'm going to open up this one. And this stems from the pennant banner that's also in there. And we're going to customize. I'm not going to hit make it now. This is a project that was in Designspace. And when it comes in, you can see it is set up to basically cut out of any of your pattern paper. I wanted to show that picture, but it does. There it goes. If you can cut that out of pattern paper, and they simply just scored right down the middle and folded this over. Okay, so this is a cute little crate decoration. You could do this for fall, for a fall theme table, something like that on a crate. Super cute. Or for a little crate that's a use for just this one little banner that they have in here. This is like a little mini banner, okay? And I chose it because it was just easy for me to show you. So what if you wanted to fold this over instead of the twine, or wanted to cut these in half and just use the half? Well, you could do that. The banner shape is in your images. In your shapes, I should say. Right down here, you have your pennant up here, and then you have your banner. Where is it? Here's one here. I know what we have one in here, and we have this one here. All you're going to do is grab that, and we're going to rotate that 90 degrees. Oops. Actually, we're going to flip it. Should be 270, not 90. There we go. So you can unlock this and then simply stretch it. If you want more of a point, you can slice it for more of a point, but you can get that banner shape right in there super easy with just using your shapes. So this one you could just punch a hole in. Now I'm keeping these small guys. I'm going to get rid of all these. We don't need but one in here, actually. So this is your fold over type, and then you have a type like this. Let me lock that back. And, oops. And stretch it. I don't like that those handles move. So if you get this and you've got it to the size that you want, this one's pretty big at 5 inches. In order to use that as a banner, you would simply get yourself a circle as well if you wanted to thread it instead of doing a fold over. And this is where your slice tool is going to come in. Your slice tool is very important. And remember, you can only slice 2 layers at a time. So we need 2 holes in here. So I'm going to get this to size, and I wouldn't want this to be more than 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make that 0.25 on my circle, and I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, and let's make this a color so you guys can see when I get my circles in here. And let's say I wanted my circles placed right about here, okay? So I'm going to select both of my circles, and I'm going to align them to the top, and I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to align them horizontally on my banner. Now I want to one will work, and you will get the same result. Okay, so if I were to attach those, you can see those little round circles. They're just not sliced out. They're just attached. But when it goes and it cuts on my Cricut, it is going to cut that circle on the inside right here. So I've got it lined up, and it's perfect where it's at. Okay, but if I wanted to make that more permanent, rather than attaching it, because maybe I don't want to do a permanent on there, but I want to just attach it. Okay, well, if I can get it to undo, there we go. So now let's just say I wanted to slice it instead and make it more permanent. When I select everything, I have no slice button. Itself is layer number 3. You can only slice 2 layers at a time. So that is why my slice is not lit up. Now, if I come in here and I select those 2 circles that I've grouped and I weld them, and you can see down here, welding makes everything one shape. If you look at the layers panel, when I weld that, I now have 1 layer of the 2 circles and then 1 layer for the banner. So now I have, when I select them, I only have 2 layers. And now slice is available. And slice is just that. It's going to cut it out on the canvas so you can see where the actual cut is at. Okay, so, and you can make these any size you want, 0.15, 0.2. It's going to depend on the size ribbon or twine or whatever it is that you're using for your banner, as well as the size of your banner. Okay, so let's say that I had this sliced and it was ready because instead of attaching, I sliced. I'm just going to get rid of that. And then I decided that I wanted to unlock it and I wanted to change it. Look what happened to the holes. They got all wonky. They aren't completely round anymore. They are more oval. How do you fix that? You can slice the holes in there again. And this is where your contour is coming in. Because even though I said the slice is kind of permanent, it kind of is, kind of isn't. Even though you can see the canvas behind it. If you needed to change that for whatever reason, that's where your contour tool's coming in. So you can select that contour tool, and you can come in and you can contour out those circles. And now you have a whole image that you can slice again. So you could just reshape it, how to shape it, and then add your circles back and slice those. Now, when you do that, your previous slice, even though you can come back and get them now, once you slice out of it again, it's going to eliminate those and they're no longer going to exist. Okay? So that will kind of erase your slice from previous once you slice into it again. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm just going to undo and put those, put those back in there. So now we have the fold over, and then we have the holes in the banner. So it doesn't matter what shape it is. You can still do this with any shapes that you have. You can simply flip to get the fold over. If this were a different shape, an image out of Designspace, you would just duplicate it and flip one together. And I'm just going to bump that down. We're going to align them, center them horizontally, and again, you would weld them, And as I said, your contour then is going to change. You can see that it changed there. And then you would put your score line right down the middle, and then you would have a fold over or a, you wouldn't need the holes in this one. I'm just showing you basically how you can take a shape and weld it. You wouldn't do that and have the holes too. It would be one or the other. I was just showing you how you would weld another shape to create a fold over type banner from one shape to another. Okay? So no matter what shape, if this was a circular shape, same thing. You're going to put your circles together and weld them and create your circle fold over banner. Okay? All right, so those are the two types of banners. Really, for this, I want to go to projects, and I want to show you how to customize a banner that is already pre-made. So if you have any questions about weld, slice, contour, or attach, please let me know. Group doesn't do anything except group it where it moves along the canvas together, and if you wanted to resize so that everything stayed cohesive, it resizes everything you have grouped together. That's all that group does. Okay? So let's go into projects, and I am going to search for a banner. I know the one that I want because I want to show you guys how you can customize and change up. It's called Princess Banner. There it is. Right here, this Princess Banner. Now, if you look at it in the photo, it looks like it's a fold over. And then they have these little, the twine tied onto the string itself. So if you're looking at that, and they have little circles glued onto the end of the twine so it doesn't unravel. Super cute banner, okay? Let's customize it and take a look at this. And I'm going to replace it. Give it a second to load because it is the whole banner in lots of little circles. So what they did on this, as you can see, all they've done is they've taken and they cut their blue cardstock in two colors and layered this up for their piece to go on there. And they've done that with all of these. This isn't the important part of that because you can take that off and use any decor on there that you want. And again, these little circles are for the twine because what they've done is they've strung these on the twine and then they've tied another length of twine in between and put the circles on each end. Super cute idea. You could add beads. You could do anything, okay? But how are they doing that? There's no holes and there's no fold over, okay? And what they've done is they've just basically taped the twine to the back of that. And that is an option. Personally, I don't like that option because it makes the twine heavy, and to me, they don't sit properly. If you're putting it on a table where you can stick it to the table itself so that it hangs properly, that's fine and that's great. I've done them that way before as well. But how can you fix this without any holes to fold over the twine without using a ton of paper? Because these are big. They're 3.3 wide and almost 5 inches tall. So that's a lot of paper. If you fold that over, they're 10 inches a piece. Okay, that's a lot of paper, and you don't need to do that. Because all you're going to do is you're going to ungroup, and I'm just going to take this down to one. You can repeat these for as many as you need. If you need it to say happy birthday, you're going to count your letters and your centerpiece, and you're going to do that number of banners. That's how many you're going to cut. And personally, I just changed that number on the Make It screen over here to fit. If I was doing the word happy, I would change this to 5, and I would apply it, and I would have 5. There's no need for me to have 10 or 15 identical banners on my canvas, cluttering up my canvas where I can't work with it. So keep that in mind when you're doing your banners. Unless they're sliced and there's something totally different in them, you don't need to do that, okay? And it's going to do everything that you need it to do. Same with the circles. If you're only going to have 5 pieces, then you could, or 5 in between each letter, then you would need total of 10. So you could do 5 dots in there, and then when you duplicate it, it's going to make 10. So super easy to figure out your math. Okay. And I just hid those crowns because we don't need those. Again, you can put any shape that you want on your banner. If you want to layer it up and stick the words on there, you can just cut your letters separate, or you can slice your letters out. Personally, I like to put my letters on top, especially if I'm using like a lot of A's. Because if I just cut my letter, and we're just going to pretend this is the font that I picked. If I just cut my letter, I can stick my letter on there. But if I come in here, and I'm going to ungroup this really quick. If I come in here and I align this and I center it like I want it horizontally, and I slice it, so a way to do it, okay? But now I have to keep up because this is trash and this is trash. Now I have to keep up with the center, okay? And before, if I just cut the letter, I just have to keep up with the letter. I don't have to keep up with the center. Does that make sense? And the centers are called counters. This little piece right here in the middle is called a counter, okay? So that is one way of doing it on for your layering up. But I'm going to show you one more tip and trick, because again, you can just put whatever you want on the top there. You don't have to slice it, but you can. This is the piece we want to concentrate over. If I want to fold this over instead of punching holes in it to do on the twine, I can simply fix that with a shape. I can come in here and I can get a half circle, or I can get a small square, whatever it is that I want, okay? And I like the half circle myself on these, because I can take this and I can shake it down. I can rotate it 90 degrees. I can bring it right in here on the top of this. I can align it center horizontally. I can weld it on there. I do not even need to add a score line, because when this cuts, that's going to be small enough. All I have to do is fold that over the twine, put a little bit of tape, and I'm done. Super easy and simple. That way I know all of my banners on my twine are going to align like they're supposed to, and I don't have to worry about putting that string in the exact spot on each piece of banner and taping it down. I know that my twine is going to be held right here by this little circle piece, just flopped over. And I didn't use that much more paper. I didn't have to make it 10 inches to fold over the entire thing. So you can, and like I said, you can use a small circle, you can use a small rectangle. You could even come in here. Oops, I probably should have duplicated that. You could even come in here and just another way, come in here and get a shape and get a score line. And I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees. We're going to pretend it's the same width as, or we can stretch it, doesn't matter. We're just going to make it the same width. And then you can add that right there on the top. Now, if you do that, then this piece is not going to line up. Okay, you can see that. So you have to put your, let's say you wanted to do it a 1/2 inch. So you would have to add, let me just make that 5 inches to make this easy. So you would need to make this, I'm going to unlock it, make it 5.5, and then add your score line a 1/2 inch down, attach it, and then you can fold over that piece. To me, that just takes time, especially if you're doing a lot of them. The circle's much easier because you can just fold that over. It's going to fold. You don't have to worry about scoring. This one you have to score, and then you have to run that across with the twine. And to me, they just don't hang as well. But you can do that, and then your piece is still going to match up here. Okay? you actually want to weld that piece on there. You can also just recreate your offset and make it an inset if you change the shape of it. And let's see, bring it down a little bit and apply. Now this one I would just probably trim off just so that it lined up, because I didn't even square that. But you get how I'm trying to tell you to do that. You're going to have to use your imagination and ways of doing it. Like I said, you can do the score line, but it's a lot more involved. You have to weld on a square to keep it all cohesive. You have to weld on a square the same width and then add that score line. And then create your offset for it, or either use the same offset that you had. This is just much easier, weld it on, and it doesn't screw a ribbon to hang your banners in individual pieces so they don't slide around. Right, then they stay put that way. You're exactly right, Marianne. So there are lots of ways to create your banners, guys. There are so many different ways. Just because there is a Make It Now project in there, you don't have to be stuck with the way that they laid it out. You can go in there and you can change that. Tool ribbon is, like Marianne said, when you're using like a tool ribbon, worry about it flopping around, and it gives it a little bit more in between. And if I'm doing big banners, that's what I like. I only use twine like they used here. If I'm doing a small banner like the one for the crate, this is perfect for teeny tiny banners. But when you get into making the 5 and 6 inch high pennants, you want to use something a little bit more substantial than a piece of twine. Like Marianne says, the tool ribbon is perfect for that. And it's not very expensive. You can get it at your Hobby Lobby or Michael's, Joann. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it with and without glitter on it. So, I mean, it's totally up to you. And trust me, if you get the one with glitter on it, that glitter is going to be everywhere. Yay, DIY Cricut Boss. Yeah, graduations. There's lots of graduations that's still going on. There's lots of things going on. So all of your summertime party banners, don't forget your cake toppers. We're going to be covering those next week. We're going to be talking about place cards, lots of things, and including maybe even invitations. So does anybody have any questions on your slice, your weld, your contour, your ways of creating your banners? Again, you can do this with any shapes, any sizes, any images. If you wanted a shaped image, you could do that. Let's see if I can. I'm going to get rid of all of these. We don't need these. Let's check out featured. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. So what if we wanted to do a banner? I'm going to add that to canvas. A banner with this little guy. How cute would that be? That would be great for like a birthday or a barbecue. For in between your banners, your pennant banners, you could use something like this in between to separate your words if you had one long banner, or for the ends of your words to hang down. This would be really cute. What I would do in one like this is first create an offset. And hit apply. I'm just going to use 1/4 inch. You could use whatever size you want. And then you can make this whatever color that you want it to be. Let's just go with, let's say we were doing silver foil or poster board. So I would duplicate this, and then I'm trying to think, flip it horizontally, and then flip it vertically. That way when it folded over, no, don't flip it vertically. For this one, you don't. Then you would just bring these two together, align, center it horizontally, and weld. And then you could flip this over. And you can see that now they are joined here at the center. and that's where they would fold. Now you could do this one, bring it to the front. You could flatten this for a print and cut and not have to deal with all the little bitty pieces, but have all the pretty in there. Change it to whatever colors for your party that matched, and then you could put this on the front and the back, or just the front. If it's going to be against a table, you wouldn't even need to cut this print and cut for the back. Okay, or you could, again, if it's going to be twirling in the wind, be on the ends or something like that. Oops, didn't want that one. You could, again, do this, and we're just going to flip that vertical so that you can see it on it. And then you could have that cute little ice cream cone banner right there on your, for decorations for part of your pennant banner. Does that make sense? In between the words, or either on the ends. So if you had like a kid's birthday party, it could say happy birthday and have the ice cream cone on the ends of the word happy birthday hanging down. Super cute. Easy. Or if you were just doing in between, you could do 3 of them, one on each end and one in between the 2 words of banner. But there's so many things. You can use everything that you can think of in Designspace, and there is a way to go around and create and make your banners from it. And again, this is a fold over. You could punch 2 little holes right here and thread it instead of doing the weld and doing 2 pieces, 2 little holes right here on each side of the ice cream cone, and then you could thread it on. You could do 1 single hole at the top here and tie it onto the end of the banner if you're just doing 2 on the ends. So does anybody have any questions on working with banners in Designspace? Awesome. All right, guys. So that is today's lesson. I want you to practice on your grouping and figuring out grouping, because grouping is, like I said, if I select everything here and I group it, now I can resize this banner and everything is going to stay like it's supposed to and size together. And when I hit make it, it's going to go to the mat separately. It's not going to make it go into different places. If, let me ungroup that. What if I were to resize this without grouping, and then I resize this? Trying to resize this and get it to fit and making sure it's right and that it lines up can be a little bit tricky. So that's what your group tool is for. Attaching, if you wanted things to cut a certain way, you could attach them, and that way it would go to the mat and it would cut just like you see it here on the canvas. It wouldn't move it around. Okay? And then again, if you have welded or you've sliced something out of it, your contour tool is going to remove either the inside or the outside cut line so that you can manipulate the image. And then your weld is going to combine 2 images to make 1 image, like we did here. And slice can only be done with 2 layers at a time. And slice, in some cases, can be the same as attach, but not always. And we'll cover that in another lesson when we get to fonts. Thanks, DIY Cricketing. Appreciate that. So guys, I want you to practice using those tools, because over the next month, we're going to cover all of the tools in Designspace so that you can get acclimated into learning how to make your own designs and not having to rely on outside resources or rely on uploads and all of that. You can manipulate. You don't have to rely on Make It Now projects, even though they're awesome. But you can go in and you can manipulate those Make It Now projects if you learn how to use all of these tools. Yes, great idea. Father's Day's coming up. Do a dad banner. I did a mom banner a few years ago. I don't know if it's still in. I don't know if it's still in the Cricut community. It's one of my layers. Don't forget about checking your materials. There's my little mini pennant banner on my kissing booth right there that I did. That's just a fold over. Gosh, that was so many years ago. Many years ago. It may or may, there it is. Here's my mom banner. That's in there. And I used acetate, and you can see that I used other shapes. I used roses in between, but I used holes in my banner to string it. I used acetate on mine. I sliced my letters out. But there are so many different things that you can do. You can take this banner and change the mom out to dad and change it to darker colors and different things. You can change this up to be whatever you want to be. You don't have to stick, when you find those Make It Now projects or you find a shape in there, you don't have to accept it as it is. You can manipulate it and make it your own. So there are lots of things that you can do. I don't think I have a dad banner in here. No, that's swag bags. I've done other banners. They must have had uploads in them because I don't have them in the community. I usually share all of my banners. Oh, those were the earrings. I did a Easter banner, but I must have done something with an upload, a pattern upload in it for print and cut because it's not in here. Okay. Thanks, Sue. All right, guys. Don't forget your giveaway. Please, please, please. This giveaway you can use, you need to use a Cricut product, a Cricut material, and an access image, any access image, and do a summer themed project. It could be a banner, it could be anything. And put that project in there with the hashtag Cricut Summer, and then once you've got that posted in the group, go over to craftingwithapril.co and enter on that rafflecopter form. If you go to the group where you see this banner in the group under the group photo, there is a link to take you over to the giveaway page. Got a Cricut Maker 3 up for grabs to the winner this month. All right. And I will catch you guys next Thursday, 7 p.m. Look for those files coming out. If you are a supporter, you will have the files coming out on Monday. I forgot to show you guys. I don't know when I'm going to release this one, but this is one that I worked on. I did the foil. You guys can see that, but the background is foiled as well. And trust me, the camera does not pick up and give the foiling justice in person. It is so pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I even foiled on the inside. Everything is foiled. Going to be